In the United States, we have a very large agricultural industry, and in recent years, we have greatly increased the amount of GMO foods and crops that we incorporate into this industry. For example, we use a great deal of GMO corn seeds around the nation, along with GMO soybeans. These corn seeds and soybeans are much higher yield than organic crops. However, they pose a detriment to our environment and our ecosystems, along with international markets, as smaller nations cannot keep up with the agricultural output of the U.S. In the U.S., we have a very large cattle industry. This industry has been characterized in recent years by the use of feedlots. On these feedlots, cows often live in their own manure and are very close together, grazing on corn feed as opposed to other more expensive feeds. Because of the use of GMOs, this corn feed has become readily available as corn has been grown in higher yields and very cheaply. However, because the cows are grazing on this corn, there is a greatly increased chance of E. coli developing inside of their gut. This can affect consumers greatly, as shown in the early 2000s, as many outbreaks across the nation of E. coli happened because of people eating tainted burger meat. Additionally, because manure can become caked onto the skin of cattle, this can aid further to E. coli poisoning. In the US, we have a booming commercial industrial agriculture business scene. However, many of these agribusinesses on industrial farms make use of very poor farming practices that are not sustainable in the slightest. One of these practices is monoculture. In monoculture, one crop is typically grown in an area for vast amounts of time. This can deplete the nutrients of that area, and in many cases leads to soil erosion, and can destroy the ecosystems and biological diversity of that area. Moreover, many industrial farms have led to great amounts of runoff into groundwater and surrounding drinking water. This has led to, in some places like Cleveland, Ohio, groundwater and drinking water becoming contaminated, with many residents having to worry about if their drinking water is safe. This is completely unacceptable, and poses a great threat to the United States as a nation, and a great threat to the security of our ecosystem and ecosystems internationally, as many farmers around the world cannot bear the debt that they must undertake to grow GMO crops, as they are very expensive. Internationally, GMOs have had a great effect, with many farmers going into crippling debt trying to grow GMO crops, as they are very expensive, requiring great amounts of water and chemicals to grow. Because of this, many countries like the United Kingdom, Germany, and even Russia have banned or highly regulated the growth of GMO crops. However, countries like the United States maintain GMO crops, as major agribusinesses maintain great amounts of support in the government and have sway over the FDA and USDA, major regulatory bodies in the United States which are supposed to help. In the US, we also have concepts known as food deserts. These food deserts are areas where people do not have access to affordable food. Some argue that GMOs can help to aid these food deserts, as GMO foods are often very affordable. However, due to the damages that GMO food growing can cause to the environment, these positives are often outweighed by the negatives, and GMOs are, in the end, not sustainable.